Welcome guys to another BTC USD analysis for this week. Now in this video we are going to first of all look at what is currently happening on the charts, and we also take a look at reasons why I still believe BTC could go down to 90k before we start seeing the long-term reversals in the market. Now I pointed out something in my previous video from the daily time frame, which I also want to point out again. Now, I told you guys that if we are to split this whole structure right into premium and discounts, we can see that we still have BTC is reacting to this particular premiums, um, the equilibrium. That's the middle of the premium and the discount zone over here. That's basically what BTC is currently reacting to. So what we are mainly on the higher scale of things is that we are seeing BTC going to react to this particular zone. So there are two areas where I'm expecting BTC to continue to drop from, which is going to be somewhere around this area or somewhere around this area. Now, if we are to use the neckline system, try to apply it here, you can see that we have a daily neckline over here, and we also have another daily neckline. These are the closest neckline. Remember, you have to use the recent areas, all right, or necklines that are closest to the current price level. So as you can see, this zone is a very strong zone, and this zone is a very strong one. Now, another reason why this particular zone between 107 106 is this very strong zone is because if you take a look at this area over here, you can see that this is where price attempted to break from multiple times. Then we finally broke through. Then what is happening right now, what I see is happening right now, more of a break and retest. As you can see here, we had this head and shoulder pattern, which was a bearish signal. That was actually one of the reasons why I told us that this level is not going to hold. And once it broke, it actually hits the target of the head and shoulder pattern. Now what is happening right now is that after price broke here, price is just trying to do a break, as you can see over here, and a retest, then it's going to continue downward. Now my target for BTC still remain 95k 90k on the larger scale of things. Now that doesn't mean that you can't buy Bitcoin, you can't trade or you can't long it where it is right now, but I don't really advise you buying altcoins or investing back into the crypto market right now. I really want, if I were in your shoes, I would want to wait for the market to complete what I'm about to show you in this video now. So that's just one reason why I believe BTC is going to 90k on the long run. Now if we are to remove all this neckline over here, there's also another thing I also want to show you guys in this video, which is there's this particular trend line which BTC just created because of this low we created recently over here. Now I don't think I pointed this out in my last video, because I don't think we've not created this particular pattern in my last video. So this also over here is BTC forming a wedge. Now if you've been following for some time, you will know that rising wedge or falling wedge, these are they are very strong patterns when it comes to BTC. Whenever you see a rising wedge, you should be anticipating a breakout, all right, but you also have to know what is happening in the smaller time frame. So this wedge over here, if we were to map it out, the movements can see that it has actually completed two touches over here, then also giving us the third touch over here. So what is going to happen now is that we're going to see price reacting, going back to this edge over here, thereby tapping into this POI. I'm still going to break out that POI before I end this video. Then we might see price coming down, all right, to retest this wedge. Then we're going to see a breakout. Now this pattern you see right here is the long-term pattern that I have in my head when it comes to BTC. All right, now I already showed you guys in a weekly FEG, which is serving as a magnet on the weekly time frame. So I will not want to go back to that. So if you did not get that, if you don't know about that, check my previous video where I talked about that weekly FEG, which is around 90k 95k. That is one of the magnets that is drawing the price down in the market. So this way is another thing to also look out for. Now in the meantime, you go on your chart, then I want you to mark out, if you're a trend line trader, I want you to mark out those trend line. How do we know that the next wave, all right, the next wave of that wedge is about to happen? If we start to see a break of this particular trend, and then the price is now ready to go down to 95k or 90k. Now, like I said, these are key areas where I'm going to be looking out for sell for. Though I'm already in a long position because I noticed that this trend line is broken, and this is also a major trend line. But I don't really think it's not going to be a determinant whether the market is going to reverse, because we have this one that has just been created. So this one is more like even on daily time frame. So, and another reason too why I also believe price could reject before I map out that POI for you guys is that if you go on the daily time frame, you see we have series of imbalances over here. We have one FEG over here, we also have another FEG over here, and we have this strong bearish order block. So price is likely going to react to one of these and continue down. What we are seeing here is a reaction to 50% on that discount zone of that weekly on the weekly time frame, then reaction to this demand zone over here. But because we have a weekly FEG drawing price down, I don't think this level will be able to hold price long enough for the market to start recovering. The only time I will tell you that BTC has started recovering is if we break out of that wedge, which I just showed you guys, right? So that's that. Now let's head over to the 1 hour time frame, and let's filter those POIs further. So as you can see, this POIs of mine has been filtered on the 1 hour time frame. So these are areas I'm expecting BTC to maybe see some reaction, then take sell, or if I don't get any setup over here, I might want to wait for price to go over to this and give a sell. Now, another alternative is for you to wait for BTC to react to this trend line, then you take a sell. So these are the three um, basic things I'm expecting to see then before I take a sell. All right, so I still believe BTC is going down to 1995k, but like I said, this is just a break and retest on the daily time frame, which I just showed you guys. Now, one last thing I also want to also show you in this video is that once you use smart money, and using smart money and using the market structure over here, you can see that this is where we have this low, this high, and this low over here. Now, over here, we have a break of structure to the downside. A break of structure to the downside. Now, what basically is happening here is that the market generated liquidity over here. So price is basically just coming, take this liquidity, then either going to continue from this area or take our liquidity, tap here and continue from this area. Now, why is this level still valid if you are using smart money concept? Now, if you are to zoom in a little bit, you will see that we still have a perfect breakout structure. We have an untapped FEG over here. So this level 2 is still a valid breakout structure. If you trade for smart money, you get the point. So that's why these are the two key levels to anticipate a sell from BTC. So let's see how it goes this week, guys. Do have a lovely trading week ahead.